Every day begins in the same way, with the world waking up and millions of people heading to their jobs. Technology is present every step we take, connecting our lives in invisible but powerful ways. Technology spreads throughout the city, connecting buildings, vehicles, and people in a network that never stops, and seamlessly. In industry, offices, hospitals, and homes, millions of people depend on technology to carry out their tasks. From the software that organizes your work, such as project management tools, to billing platforms and customer service systems, computer applications are essential in all aspects of our lives. But this was in fact not always the case. There was a time when technology was much simpler and more limited, with enormous machines that operated with vacuum tubes. They were bulky, required constant maintenance, and their processing capacity was minimal compared to current standards. The invention of the transistor in 1947 would mark a turning point, allowing for the miniaturization of circuits and the development of more compact and efficient devices. Since then, progress has been unstoppable. Thanks to miniaturization, we have seen the emergence of microprocessors and integrated devices that have revolutionized electronics and computing. This advancement would pave the way for the creation of the first mobile phones, which in their early days only allowed for making calls. Nowadays, smartphones are true computers. With them, we not only interact socially, but also manage our lives, from our finances to health, including education and entertainment. The evolution of mobile devices has transcended communication, connecting people with the world, and expanding the limits of what is possible through the development of advanced mobile technologies. The growing need for sophisticated applications has driven a rapid development of the web and mobile applications. These apps have become essential tools for accessing services, performing tasks, and keeping us connected in an increasingly digital world. As our expectations grow, the industry is forced to constantly innovate, seeking to provide faster, more personalized, and accessible experiences anytime and anywhere. The development of modern applications allows us to turn ideas into reality and change, once again, the way we live and work. Today, software applications, from communication platforms to productivity tools, have made access to information and collaboration easier and more efficient than ever. Thus, technology has not only evolved in terms of size and performance, but has also redefined our everyday experience, bringing us closer to a future full of possibilities. But how does the development of a software application begin? It all starts with a need. Customers often face challenges in their daily lives that traditional tools can no longer solve in many different ways. Perhaps it is a sales process that falls short, or a management system that fails to keep pace with the growth of your business. Frustration slowly begins to grow, along with the urgency to find a solution. Answering the simple question from the client, "How can I make my business more efficient?" is the starting point of a journey that blends strategy and technology. The first phase, the contact between the client and the IT consulting firm, is crucial. Here, it is not just about gathering technical requirements, but about deeply understanding the problem. The consulting team dedicates time to understanding the business, the current processes, and the areas where inefficiencies are perceived. This may include visits to the company, interviews with key employees, and the analysis of the existing technological infrastructure. During this process, the true needs of the client are identified, often being more complex or different from what was initially proposed. The goal is to understand not only what the client wants, but also why they need it, and how the solution will fit into their business model. Once a clear understanding of the problem has been obtained, an intermediate phase of analysis and conceptualization begins. Here, the consulting team begins to work on a preliminary solution model. Often, a process map or flowchart is created to illustrate how the application can improve existing workflows. Possible approaches are discussed, feasibility studies are conducted, and the most suitable software technologies are evaluated. This is a key moment to align expectations and ensure that the client and the consulting firm have a shared vision of the final outcome. In this phase, the consulting firm can also propose different scenarios, outlining solution alternatives that vary in complexity and cost. These options are presented to the client, and together they evaluate which approach is the most viable, always based on the resources, timelines, and business objectives. With the preliminary analysis in hand, and having defined a general approach to solve the client's problem, the phase of requirements definition and preliminary planning begins. In this context, agile methodologies like Scrum play a fundamental role in facilitating collaboration between the development team and the client. With Scrum, requirements are managed iteratively and evolutionarily throughout the project lifecycle.
Pero necesito que Juan Antonio la maquete, entonces por eso todavía no está terminada.
Vale, pues yo ayer terminé de seleccionar, instalar y configurar la herramienta que vamos a utilizar para mostrar las gráficas de analíticas y hoy me voy a poner en marcha con la lógica para almacenar todo lo que son las estadísticas y datos temporales en la base de datos.
During this phase, the team works closely with the client to detail the functionalities of the application, transforming general ideas into specific and well-defined requirements. A document is prepared that includes two types of requirements: functional requirements, which are the detailed specifications that define the behavior and functionalities that the software must offer, and non-functional requirements, which address critical aspects such as security and performance. Additionally, resources, budgets, and tentative timelines are discussed, outlining a flexible schedule that adapts to the project's needs. With all these elements established and a clear vision of what is expected from the system, it is now time to focus on one of the most technical and critical aspects of the process: the data. This is one of the largest data centers in the world. Here, technology and infrastructure come together to manage enormous volumes of data. In this space, every component is vital. In facilities, the data that supports mobile applications and the information that appears on your screen whenever you access a web page is stored. But how is the data designed? The modeling of a database is essentially comparable to designing the blueprints of a building before starting its construction. Just as an architect defines every detail to avoid structural failures, the database analyst must precisely plan the structure of the information. If the plans of a building contain errors, this could potentially lead to cracks and even more significant problems in the future. Similarly, a poor design in a database can affect the proper functioning of the system, making maintenance and future updates more difficult. Database modeling begins in the functional analysis phase, a key moment in which, based on the requirements and the information gathered, the necessary structures are built to ensure the integrity and consistency of the data. At this stage, the identification of functional dependencies becomes a fundamental aspect, as they will determine not only how the attributes of each entity relate to each other and to other entities, but also because they are key in the normalization process to avoid redundancies and anomalies. Throughout functional analysis phase, entities, attributes, and relationships representing the data are also identified. This step is critical, as it is here the organization of information is defined, ensuring every relevant aspect of the system is adequately represented. The conceptual model evolves into the logical design, where entities become tables, attributes become columns, and relationships are defined through primary and foreign keys. It will be later in the physical modeling, implemented with SQL, where the necessary tables, indexes, and constraints are created to optimize system performance and ensure data integrity. Finally, all the modeling and decisions regarding the data will be integrated into the software requirements specification document. Furthermore, it is essential that this document is signed by the client, as their formal approval ensures that all parties agree on the requirements and expectations, which helps prevent misunderstandings and ensures the proper execution of the project. Software development is an extensive and meticulous process that begins with careful planning and progresses through a series of crucial stages. Each of them is key to developing robust and versatile technological solutions designed to meet the constantly evolving demands of users and organizations. From the initial conception to the final implementation, the goal is to build systems that not only function efficiently, but are also capable of adapting and responding to the challenges of the digital environment. In this documentary, we highlight the initial phases of software development, analysis, and design of databases, key components, together with the integration of phases and appropriate methodologies and technologies, crucial for the success of any project. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey into the world of software. We still have many fascinating things to discover and learn together on this journey. This is just the beginning. Meanwhile, applications and data continue to transform the world around us.